Yes, ladies and gents, Nesabugalo EKSE live here on DSTV channel 263. And if you don't know, now you know. And I must say one thing about the names that you've been hearing around the studio, Uleri, Sia, and Sibu. We just gave each other's names so that we can beef or something like that. But it's not about those guys right now. Today we do have Abantu Asenyongweni, people that are actually influential and famous around the Kapstadt. And they've been making moves for a very long time. And they have so much influence. And today they are going to give us a bit of news nyana on how you can actually be famous in Cape Town. Ladies and gents, we do have the hosts of the GenC podcast, JP and Rizal.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Wow.
Yeah.
Influential.
You are influential. Come on, you are, guys. Okay, so for someone who doesn't know the GenC podcast and you guys, how did this whole thing start?
Cool. I'll just kick it off. We started basically about a year ago now. Podcasting is relatively new in South Africa.
Yes.
And as we all know, as soon as you start seeing someone that looks like you in a space, you start thinking that it's achievable.
Yeah.
So I think one of the main reasons for us starting it was so that we could have representation of people that look like us.
Yes.
So that other people can also be inspired to do something great.
Okay. Yes, I think you wanted to say something
No,
like,
it's actually perfect. So like the GenC podcast,
Yes.
to us basically is that we want to focus on the generation that we are, the millennials, the Gen Zs,
Yes.
and we notice that like the types of work that there is, say 10 years ago, is different to the way that it is now, and will be different 10 years from now. So we want to show like everyone what's out there.
Yeah.
And that's the type of guests and stories that we tell on the show as well. So that's what we really wanted to do. It's like, because everyone tells you, oh, you must be a doctor, a nurse, or a policeman.
True.
And people that look like us, those are the typical jobs that we
Yeah.
But there's so many new things out there, and that's the type of stories that we want to tell.
Okay, that's great because I like the fact that the kind of mission that you guys aim to do and have, that's why I'm saying you guys are influential. You see, that explains the whole influential thing enough. So how did you guys come up with the name Gen Z? Because you did explain from the generations. What's this Gen Z thingy? How? Now we're going there.
So because of the linkage between the different generations,
Yes.
There's the whole like millennials, Gen Z, and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But the thread throughout people that look like me is that we're all colored.
Yeah.
And even without that, a great term that was used recently is that we all grew up in the same house, just in different rooms. And because of that, we can share similar stories,
Yes.
but then also information can be shared. Because a lot of the times, certain families are good at doing certain things, but then other people can't hear that story. So what we're trying to do is create a platform where all of this can be shared
Yes.
as a resource space for whoever looks like us.
Oh.
And the reason why we made it so specific is
Yeah.
because media in general caters for specific people.
True.
And sometimes when you look for something that looks like you want to hear from that person.
Yes. True.
The other thing that I will say is that we both colored, but being colored is not a monolith. I sort of fall into like a Cape Malay because I'm Muslim.
Yeah.
Right, so that's
I
basically
thought you were Sotho.
So that's funny. My grandfather's actually Sotho from
Whoa,
Pretoria.
Sibu is so awesome.
And then my dad is like, he has roots in Durban, Dundee, KZN. So I am like, I'm mixed. I'm fully mixed. And then the second part that JP didn't mention, that C part, which I guess is colored, but we are here for the culture.
Oh, so it's generation colored or generation culture?
Here we go.
Okay. Okay. So with your podcast and with what you said you were aiming to give out to the community, how did the family, like your families, respond listening to or watching or listening to the podcast for the first time?
So Rizan's mother is a common theme in the podcast, so I think he can answer this.
Yeah, I often say this thing where I'm like, salam to your mommy at home. And I always make fun of my mommy.
Yeah. I'm waiting on you to crack something now.
No, like shame. And I actually got called out for that. They're like, you must stop making fun of your mommy. But my parents love it. They are actually big fans.
Yeah.
It was weird, I suppose, at first, but like they watch it all the time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So any advice do you guys have for aspiring creatives out there?
Cool. So I think the first thing that comes to mind is that remain authentic. We sometimes feel like repeating certain things, and then we think we're not unique in that space, but
Yeah.
there is only one version of you.
Sure.
So whatever you decide to do will remain authentically you. So just do it, man. I mean,
The Nike slogan. Just
yeah.
do it. But I must say, we want to thank you for actually taking the time to come here. And I do believe for people who are used to doing podcasts, like 5 minutes is not really enough to actually get to know the whole thing. So you can make sure that you follow them on all their social media platforms. And it was a time, and I hope maybe I'm applying to be a guest, do you know? Yes.